modern art platform out of Bombay. Mostly online, but of course we've had many physical events in the past as well. The title of the presentation is 1948, the original avatars. The G was capital actually, but unfortunately it got corrected by somebody to be lowercase. It's actually, we were supposed to use OG. It has a meaning in the NFT space. Sometimes, spell checkers are not up to date with what your intent is. Anyway, next slide, please. Next. So again, some version of this for your homes, but this is what's considered to be a decorative art. I mean, this is not considered to be fine art at all. So this will never appreciate, no matter how much you try. Whereas the first one, of course, Cream by Edward Munch, it holds the record for a modern artwork. I forget, it was either $70 million or $170 million, one of the two. And so that's the record for an artwork, but again, this is fine art, and the next one is decorative art. Next one. One second.
Just a question to you, with regards to fine and decorative art. When you talk about art and technology, does the line between fine art and decorative art get blurred? Because when you're looking at an NFT, for example,
It's the same. Can we just go back, I guess? I just want to. So the question was, are those the same for digitally created art? I think the rules are exactly the same. It is art at the end of the day. That's why you need curators to identify what is good art, what is called kitsch, what is called copies, what has no value in terms of extension of any language or expression. And those rules are the same whether you talk about physical art or digital art. I just want to go back to the slides once again, because this is a crucial part of why things appreciate in value. Because when we were putting up this presentation, that was the first thing that said, okay, you're making an NFT or you're making digital art, why should they go up in value? So can we just revisit the older slide once again? Starting from the first one. Yeah, this one. So again, name recognition, narrative around the artwork, composition, curator support. Next slide. Avant-garde, having a collective base, specifically how rare an artwork is as compared to the other artworks of an artist, and rarity and exclusiveness of the particular art. Next, we spoke about fine art versus decorative art. And the next slide, copy versus influence. This is again another very crucial thing, and this is where on this slide you just have digital art. From the beginning of the feminist movement around 2017, again, there's a slight controversy. Some people say by 2015, but on the Ethereum blockchain, certainly it started around the 2017 timeframe. There have been many what's called PFP projects, and many of them are simply copies of the same. And in fact, the first 4 images that you see here are the CryptoPunks project that was released on the Solana blockchain. The point we're trying to force is that releasing the identical artwork on a different blockchain does not change the artwork. It is still a copy. I mean, even though it's chase those artworks, because it's extremely difficult to get. Copy is a copy. Next slide, please. Okay, so another thing that I think there was a lawyer in the room here as well. It's a big elephant in the room, which is copyright, and it's not just a part of digital art, it's also a part of physical art. And where it manifests, certainly you can go ahead and make a portrait with yours. It belongs to the person. It's a gray area, and it's a gray area because everything is fine till you get a legal notice, till you're taken to court for copyright violation. Yes, you can, but unless and until you have the right to do so, that would be a copyright violation. Whether they're trading in the largest of exchanges without any issue, but will there be a trouble or problem with them in the future? I think there will. and it's something we need to be very careful of.
What happens, say, a Hussain or a Raja Ravi Verma, where there have been NFTs being sold of these artists? How does the copyright for those digital artworks work? Is it the artist's estate? Is it the person who owns that physical painting, if it is a physical painting?
Yeah, so when we started this whole NFT thing in India maybe a year and a half ago, a lot of people were surprised and they called me up and they said, "Are you telling me I own an artwork from so-and-so artist, let's say Hussain, and but then the image belongs to somebody else? I mean, I own the image too, right?" I said, "No, you don't own the image. The image is, it's I think Geneva Convention or something like that. The image, all rights, titles, are transferred over with this sale. That would include copyright and anything that you can do with that. But if in the absence of any such artworks, image copyright remains with the artist or the artist estate specifically and without permission."
Then isn't it implied that you've passed on the rights to the client?
Unless and until you have a deed of assignment of copyright or an agreement specifically that says all rights and titles are being transferred over to you. All you are selling is a physical piece of work.
So 50 years ago, all this didn't exist, you know. I mean, all this IPR and all that didn't exist 50 years ago. When you bought art, you bought art, you know.
Sorry, it did exist. It existed in 1957.
Okay, but when you bought art, we understood that it belonged to me and everything about it belonged to me and of the artist.
The image belongs to the estate, not the art. You bought the physical artwork. You're hanging that artwork in your living room. Fine, you've bought it. But
we'll talk about it afterwards.
It is a well-established.
I don't agree, but
That's fine, but point is that if you today, let's say you're buying an artwork and you want to make sure that you own everything about that artwork, besides having an invoice from the artist saying that I'm making a sale of a particular artwork to you, you have another document that you make, your titles, anything that is affiliated with this artwork now is also being transferred over to me. Then you're no longer in a gray area, I guess.
I guess another way of asking the same question is what can I not do with that physical artwork? If I've bought.
There were collectors of FN Souza, a collector called Aziz Kurtar of Dubai. Since that time, there almost has been no book published on FN Souza because publishing a book means that you're going to sell the book, and so therefore you're monetizing the images that are inside the book. And you cannot do that without approval from the estate. The Souza estate is in complete disarray. I mean, people are not signing or they just refuse to sign any more such contracts. And it's just somebody just published a book and they woke up a year later. So point being, you have an artwork in your collection. Let's say you're creating a book saying that the collection of XYZ, your collection. And in that you have put on that artwork, which I think is fine. If you are listing it in an auction for sale, certainly the auction house has to put an image in the catalog for selling it. That's called fair use. So to fair use, to identify what my collection is or to put as images or monitor or put it on my t-shirt. The case law is a little bit more evolved overseas, I think, in India, but the gist of it is very simple and you're just buying a physical work of art, you're not buying the image copyright.
Which is different from the Bored Ape NFTs.
Bored Ape started as an NFT, so we'll get to that. Just NFTs out of celebrities. Amitabh Bachchan's face has been misused so many times. It's like, oh, buy an NFT of Amitabh Bachchan, but it's completely. There's no approval from him. So yeah, you can put it up there, but at some point, these things will be taken down, and you will be responsible for it.
When it's digital, then the copy looks exactly like. So with the physicals, say this isn't an original Picasso or whatever, right? But in this case, there is no difference.
So that's a great question. The question is that I can have an oil on canvas by Picasso. It has a certain style, how the paint has been applied to the canvas. It has to be on the ledger, your wallet has to be linked So only an original owner can sell it. Work is using digital tools, right? So, but of course, you're printing it out on canvas and then signing it. But it is.
I want people to know they hold a certain rare piece of original physical art. And then I look at now digital art, where people say it's an exact replica, original digital art. And I live in Nigeria, and
But you're going to extract no value from that
so,
copy.
so if I'm an art collector, I don't care about the financial values, and all I do is so if I have an original Picasso, I know it's work that Picasso did, etc. I can get the same one in the digital space much more easily because it's an exact replica, unlike a replica of a Picasso.
You'll be surprised how well replicas are made even in the physical space. I mean, in fact, when it
So in some sense, when you speak to financial investment, and I'm asking from a perspective of
tools, and certainly a lot of tools that have come out of provenance, and it's not about examples of artworks that we've printed out. We've tried various things. I know you're going to say that I don't want to sell it. I just want to appreciate it from this presentation that you.
For you, like, I'm really active into NFTs and I've been active into it since almost 2 years. So you know how you said that it's easy as it sounds always, because there could be he or someone else, who's a new artist, and they're just example, who's a really famous artist around NFTs or people. So that also matters a lot. How much
You have Twitter followers, you can have a community, you can talk about that artist in Discourse servers, etc. And maybe somebody buys that new artist, but
All these issues, copyright, NFTs, crypto, etc. When you sell an art in the form of you're converting physical art into digital art in the form of an NFT, right? Cryptocurrencies, NFT, etc. Regulatory clarity. How do you guard against future law coming into place that unravels some of the?
We're putting in fiat. Having said that, that is.
And they don't have a problem with Bitcoin, and on Ether they're sort of on the fence. Gary Gensler is not really giving you a straight answer, but some of the other tokens they have an issue with.
So if we are to issue our own token and say you buy this artwork and I'm going to give you Prinseps token along with it. Now such kind of gimmickry is certainly taking what you're buying. That is the problem. Please hear carefully. You have a physical artwork and you've taken an image of that physical artwork. And with the right copyright, you can sell both the physical artwork and the.
Art converted to an NFT, or is it art created in the digital space?
So digital art is an image that's being sold. Now it could come from a physical art that has been photographed.
Right.
It could be.
It's just like food for thought. Maybe is that if I create art in the digital space and I sell that as an NFT, isn't the art I?
You understand what I'm saying? So the JPEG is the NFT. What is an NFT? No problem. The owner is.
But that's something you could do even when you're creating physical art. You could say I'm making a photo. I'm making copies of my original.
If you understand the basics, the extensions are trivial. I mean, the JPEG, the image that you make is owner's information. So that.
Now, who has the rights to it? You said that the original.
The physical art belongs to you. The artist, the image belongs to the artist.
I mean, I know the person who buys.
So the artist they can transfer the full corporate over to you. More common NFT license. What that says is you have limit. Next, please. Legitimate artwork that's considered to be fine art, not decorative art. That is considered to be. Somebody mentioned Picasso, of course. This Kandinsky and this Picasso right here. Salvatore Dali. What's called the Profile Picture Project actually doesn't start 3 years ago. It starts some of these artworks. I mean, and a social media icon, We're talking about 30, 40, 50, 60 eyes or a pope, and a lot of people has become around 5. This is you want to put your face in there. You want to put a mask. I mean, that's how this came to being. Purple hair, pink, yellow, green, sunglasses. A lot of accessories. So launching our own NFT project, in a sense, this is a journey as to why we did what we did. Some of these works, he made portraits of what a hypocrite would look like, what a gypsy queen would look like, very clear, what a hill girl could look like, what Roy Bahadur could look like. We stumbled onto this and we realized that this guy had made this in 1940. It's like, in the sun, you look at a portrait of a guy that looks as if he's right in the sun. Childish, and not focus on the realistic features, right? But here he made portraits where he focused on a physical characteristic or an empathy or some crowd, and we have Gypsy Queen, Punk wearing a bindi, and we have a doll-like person.
Or whatever it is, but the problem is if someone got to know the backstory, then it will look like an inspired.
This is not. This is the artworks. These are the artworks. I mean, these are the inspiration is what you're saying is because.
Who holds the original physical pieces of these if they still exist or they don't?
We actually auction the estate.
Art outside of just selling. So let's say publishing in books like you were discussing earlier. So in that case of like publishing in a book now, or would the opportunities to monetize be different?
So they will never come up for trade in what he was doing. It's just studies that he wanted to do. And that's what I call originality. If you look at Bored Ape and CryptoPunk, there's one face with many art. Yeah, exactly. It's not inspired by. It is the original artist. It is the original artist as if he would do it today. I mean, you look at the artworks, they're almost identical. All we've done is standardize them. We stumbled on this and we said, hey, let's please.
How many original pieces are there and how many NFTs are like?
Question. So there would be close to
38 original artwork.
Yeah, so like essentially 35 NFTs and 35 original artwork. That's not.
no. So each artwork is for. So it's further original modernist artwork, standard on the Ethereum blockchain. The standard NFT digital art practices we follow. Our goal is modern. So we have. So these will all be characters in. So we are going to use AI in a very interesting way.
No, my question was that the individual.
No, there's no.
I sold, and then I mint the NFT. Who owns the copyright ID?
So it depends if you started from scratch or not. Are you using Midjourney as a tool? 100%. So what's happened in the past? There was a artist called Shibu Natation, an Indian artist, who had an exhibition in London, and he used a tool and a stock image to. That's sellable. What value does it have? Will it get into trouble at some point in the future? All those things are question marks.
Like either you can manually do it, or now there's AI.
You just need to read what the tool tells you as to what copyright you own. I mean,